we as women, it's simple, but not always easy to be mindful about what's going into our bodies. So anytime there is a disruption within the body with anything, it's based on something we're putting into it, whether it's through our mouths or whether it's beliefs and emotions. So even looking at, it's kind of, oh, go ahead.
And on our skin and our hair and our nails,
Yes, yes.
you know,
And
it's said that a woman can walk out of her house in the morning and have over 100 different estrogen disrupting chemicals that she has slathered on that is now she's eating as it goes
yes,
in, right?
yes, yeah. And you know, this, it first came out regarding like lipstick, you know, and how much estrogen disruptors we get through that. But I remember, you know, what this is kind of poignant for me because a lot of women who would come into practice and we would break down not just looking at estrogen dominance, but at the different metabolites of estrogen. And women who were estrogen dominant, they weren't on estrogen, and it's like, why is this so high? And we're searching for all of the reasons why. And you know, a lot of women, just cosmetics, you know, plastics as well. You know, we're becoming educated, a little bit more educated about the things that are going into the products that we buy that potentially disrupt estrogen. But I think we have to have our like our alert kind of up for anything, I think, that we see that comes in a box or a bag or a jar, and really making sure that we're going organic, and then remembering that we can mitigate a lot of this by just cleansing our bodies out. Our
Yeah.
bodies are meant to and know how to metabolize and remove things if we're putting the right nutrients and supplements and foods in as well.
So the estrogen metabolite piece is really important because a lot of people don't know what that is. And so they can figure out like estrogen dominance actually means that you have more estrogen in your ratio than progesterone. And I'm seeing a lot of men with estrogen dominance. I'm sending men in for DEXA scans now, and I'm finding men with osteoporosis. It's always been a women's health issue, right? You send women in for bone density scans. When I started seeing all of the estrogen dominance and testosterone reduction I was seeing in these men with big bellies and man boobs, and you know, just really, this is a formula for prostate cancer and testicular cancer, right? I thought, well, there's that, but then also, what about the other things that women we watch in them, you know, when this is happening? And I've been diagnosing osteoporosis in men.
Well, and I think that issue actually, because when we're looking at hormones, so I never look at hormones just in a vacuum. We really have to look at the whole HPA axis.
Right.
So, and breaking down the metabolites, you know, going again, if you're seeing a practitioner like yourself or me who is able to actually do that mostly in the urine and get those metabolites, you can geek out and get into minutia on what each of the metabolites do. But in general, you have to also look at the whole HPA axis. So even like when you're speaking
Well, let's
of,
define that because you and I are speaking in jargon right now. So we're talking about the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis when we're talking about this. And what Dr. Kyia is referring to is the fact that if you perceive yourself as stressed out, then you're going to be sending a signal, you know, from your mind and brain down to your lovely little adrenals to then let go of cortisol so you can fight or you can flee or you can freeze, right? Or faint. And so if you do that in perpetuity, then you're going to wear out your thyroid and your gonads because your body's always trying to maintain balance, and it will start to hijack, right? Borrow,
absolutely.
so that
Hmm.
rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yes.
Finally it's empty, and then you notice a symptom.